Arthur Miller's The Crucible, along with the controversial film biography Spotlight, directed by Tom McCarthy, exhibit the grave repercussions of the church's political power and how that power can shape an individual's own human experience. As both texts delve into the corruption behind higher authorities, they attempt to develop a realization within their intended audience, ultimately promoting the injustices which exist amongst institutional systems, as well as promoting a widespread resistance which reflects their own personal beliefs, crafting a unique human experience for everyone. The Crucible addresses the ways in which institutions police and repress the desires and values of the individual. Miller's representation of Abigail's vindictive nature elucidates her embodiment of the forces of deception, as he applies biblical allusion in "But God made my face, you cannot want to tear my face." Here, Abigail highlights that her facade of purity is solidified by her associations with the church, a relationship that leverages to bolster her social power in Salem. Miller utilizes characterization as a potent tool to capture the competing political perspectives that drive the conflict of the play. Through the contrasting character of John Proctor, Miller constructs a clear binary opposition between the truth and deception. Proctor's raw honesty and pleading tone in "It is not a child, sir, now hear me, sir, in the sight of the congregation, she were twice this year, but put out of this meeting house for laughter during prayer," underlining the tension between uncovering the truth and the layers of deception that shield Abigail's true intent. Further, Proctor seeks to expose the flawed logics of the court, exhibited in this exclamatory tone: "I hear the boost of Lucifer, I see his filthy face, and it is my face and yours, Danforth." Here, Miller represents Proctor as a symbol of reason and justice amidst the hysteria generated by logical fallacies, to broadcast his criticism of political turbulence of his 1950s world, pervaded by corrupted political motivations that repressed the voices of the individuals and distorted the truth. The concept of institutional conformity is further explored throughout the film biography Spotlight, where the Cardinal declares, "I find that the city flourishes when its great institutions work together, mimicking Salem's theocratic system." McCarthy then applies the rebuttal of, "Thank you, personally, I'm of the opinion that for a paper to best perform its function, it really needs to stand alone," using the imagery of division to reflect on the viewers how collaboration of higher authorities can thus result in contamination of the truth. Ultimately, Miller displays the tensions created by flawed institutions, comparing the security of conforming to the correct moral actions to delusion of higher authorities, positioning audiences to recognize the dangers of conflicting political interests. Similarly, McCarthy examines how personal motivations and agendas corrupt the institutional decisions, resulting in the inability to extract politics from the individual psychology. Motivations of self-preservation override morality throughout the film biography Spotlight, as individuals and institutions prefer to uphold a facade of morality to protect themselves and conceal truth. Through dramatic irony, McCarthy represents the mechanisms utilized by the church authorities to silence individual voices in the Cardinal's statement, "We took a stand on civil rights. Our readership was not pleased. They saw me as a meddling outsider." Here, McCarthy using costuming and religious body language of the priest to enlighten audiences to the irony behind the church's institutions' actions of discreet secrecy, used to engender conformity. As the casualties of the church's indiscretions are referred to as survivors, McCarthy utilized their personal testimony of events to reveal how institutions prey on the weakened individuals. As one of the survivors proclaims, "How do you say no to God?" McCarthy employs erotus to express the pressure to comply and intertwined with religious belief, positioning contemporary viewers to question the dangerous relationship between religion and politics that can impact an individual's ability to voice the truth. Further, Garabedian, a key lawyer, explains, "If it takes a village to raise a child, it takes a village to abuse one," in which McCarthy applies sententia, manipulating the cliched expression to reveal how the intrusive extent of flawed political and personal agendas result in mass atrocities. Additionally, when the character of Mike Rendezes discovers further evidence, McCarthy employs a voiceover of journalists reciting a victim's explanation. "Our desire is to protect the holy orders, even in the midst of our agony over the 7 boys in our family who have been violated. We were suggested to keep silent," which elucidates the mechanisms utilized by the church to prevent resistance. In addition, as this powerful scene takes place, the composer utilizes a range of moving medium angle shots in order to include the wider society, thus revealing the institution amongst a broad spectrum. Further, the camera is positioned to capture a survivor, who appeared earlier in the film, utilizing his body language when with his son to therefore metaphorically reveal the impact on generations to come. Essentially, McCarthy elucidates how the contamination of institutional values shield the truth and repress the voices of the individual. Both composers manipulate their audience's perspective to influence particular political views and aspirations. As a pursuit of power contaminates the concept of morality, each author exhibits a text which portray their own outlook in order to deliver their version of the truth to their audience. When in the answer it states there is everything you can see. Arthur Miller's The Crucible, along with the controversial film